Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Embrace the Opposite. I'm your host, Andrew Wormsley, coming at you guys from beautiful Laguna Niguel, California. Guys, before we get into the video today, please like, please subscribe, and please share. And on top of that, please comment below. You know, again, with these topics, I'm really looking for engaging and interactive ways to reach you guys out there and to share a little bit of what I have experienced in my life. And but I want to get feedback from you guys and see if we have anything to share and learn from with one another. So guys, the topic today, how about this? I wanted to get into family and relationships that you have with your family members, and how many chances do you give family members when they have done you wrong, when they're doing wrong to themselves, when they're hurting other family members. How many chances do you give them, and what are ways that we can help maintain growth in those relationships? So each of us have things that family members do that we would probably think twice about. We have family members that maybe just go about their everyday activities a little bit differently than we will. Maybe they're not goal-oriented as much as we are. Maybe they just are having a hard time to launch their direction, launch what they want to do with their lives. One thing that I can say is that my family has people in it that do things differently than I would. Okay, what's the theme? Embrace the opposite. So how can we embrace the opposite with people in our family that do things differently? Well, I think you got to ask yourself a couple questions. Have I ever done something in my own life that has caused another family member to think twice about my own conduct? So basically, the idea is that we all have segments of our lives where we aren't doing things in the best way possible. We aren't doing things focused on outward thinking, focused on helping others. We're doing things focused on thinking about ourselves, thinking about our own egos, our own wants, and our own desires. I can't think of how many times in my teenage years and my young adult years when I took advantage of my mother, when I said something or did something that wasn't true, or I asked something of her that I knew she wouldn't want to do. Well, these were areas in my life when I was very focused on my own wants and desires, my own quote-unquote goals that I wanted to achieve. Anytime you are thinking of doing something that you need someone else's help for, you really have to be humble. You really have to think twice about, okay, if I'm going to ask this person for something, what do they have to gain? What can I offer them? And in return for what they're going to do for me. And I think with family, sometimes we lose that. We expect family to do certain things for us. We expect family to be there for us and to help us and to not want anything in return. And although that is the general idea of what love is, we have to take into consideration that mutually beneficial things need to come to the forefront of this interaction. So step one is making sure that we look at our own lives and we say, okay, in the past, have I done something or said something or had a direction or took my life in a way that a family member did not approve of? That's step one. Step two is when I ask someone for something, when I'm looking to ask a family member for some help, am I thinking about what I can offer to them? And I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to ask them for help. Here's what I need, but here's what I'm going to do for you in return. Or do we just go into it blindly asking for help? And if we're on the other side of that, remember, if somebody's asking you for help, if a family member or anyone really is asking you for help, there's nothing wrong with you putting on the table, hey, I can offer you this, but here's what I'd like you to do for me. Here's what I'd like you to present to me, or that you can offer me in return for my help. And you want to make that something that's maybe goal-oriented, very obtainable for the person, nothing outlandish or crazy that they would never be able to reach. But there's nothing wrong with putting that on the table when somebody's asking you for help, especially a family member. Step three is when you're looking at a family, you're really looking at not just one point of contact. If somebody in your life that's a family member is asking you for something, or you're going to be engaged with them in some sort of event, you're not just looking at that one person. You're really looking at a web of other people. Because you may have, if this is your cousin, you may have your parents' sibling, who is that person's mother. You may have grandparents that are involved. And so thinking about just the one person when you're interacting with family members might be a mistake, because you really need to look at the web of community that is surrounding that one person. Making sure if you're going to treat that person maybe not so well, or if you're going to do something that that person doesn't like, you have to keep in mind that it's going to affect multiple people. And step 4, just keeping in mind that just like with regular relationships and you're working on embracing the opposite, family members are different from you. You're not going to have someone that's going to do and think exactly the way that you do. And so you need to have patience, you need to keep an open mind, and you need to be accepting to some degree of who that person is. Not accepting as in, I'm going to be you, but accepting as in, you're different from me. How can I help you? What can I do to maintain this relationship? Or if the relationship does need to have some separation, how can I keep things in a respectful manner? Because these things happen. Family members don't talk for years and years and years, and then somebody's on their deathbed and they want to reconnect. Well, why do we want to reconnect when we're on our deathbed? Because we feel the inner true self of our being come to the forefront. We're coming closer and closer to that energy. And so that's where the love resides. The true self in each of us understands love. It's the ego that comes in, it's the identities that come in and kind of disrupt that. So what I'm saying is that even if you have a break from a family member, even if you haven't talked to them in years, even if they did something to you that was just horrible, there always is room and there always is space for you to reach out, connect, and to let them know that there is forgiveness, let them know that there is love, let them know that there is a place where our relationship can be. And it may not be where we want it to be today, but I'm willing to work with you to get where we need to go together. So guys, that's what I wanted to share today. I hope it was helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is episode 24, and on New Year's Eve in a couple days, I'm going to be doing episode 25 for the end of the year Embrace the Opposite celebration. So I hope you guys are doing well, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.